Hi, I'm Hannah Church and I'm auditioning for RORY. I carry Dad into his study and there it all is. Maps of the Arctic Circle and posters of beardy men in thick furs looking moody. There's articles and clippings of global warming all over the walls and books and books and more books with big bold font on the spines. It's man's books. Dad's books. And there on the desk is his notebook, his journal. His pen is on the desk next to it. It's okay to read someone's diary of the dead, right? I mean, we read Anne Frank's in school, so. I put Dad down on the desk. I sit in his chair. I look at the notebook. I open it. North Pole trip, it says. North Pole trip. And I remember lying in our makeshift igloo on white sheets for snow. I remember Dad saying, one day we'll go, Rory. When you're older, would you like that? I don't remember saying yes. I flick through the notebook. Careful plans, weather charts, tour operators, chartered flight companies, names of strange places. Borneo, Longyearbyen, cost estimates for 2 travelers. You planned it. North Pole trip, it says. And next year. Next to the notebook, a book with a black and white cover, a photograph of a young man with serious facial hair and deep eyes staring out at me. Farthest North by Fridtjof Nansen. I remember this book. Your dad used to read it to me instead of a bedtime story. He's a great polar explorer, one of Dad's faves. Some of the pages are dog-eared and folded down. I opened to one. He's underlined passages in blue and black ink. Alas! Alas, life is full of disappointments. As one reaches one ridge, there is always another and a higher one beyond, which blocks the view. Fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, fuck disappointment. And suddenly it's all so clear. What to do with him. Dad. You never got to go. But I can take you. When the explorer Franklin went missing, his wife kept faith for years that he'd come back alive, funded search parties to look for him and his men. Eventually, they found a sheet of paper in a cairn in a place called Victory Point, way up on the northern coast of King William Island. An official typed document with the handwritten scroll around the edges. John Franklin died, June 1847. There were no survivors. They found a skeleton nearby, bones bleached white from cold and exposure. He had a clothes brush and a pocket comb on him. The comb still had hairs in it. She'd kept looking for 5 years, not knowing he was already dead. Mum's a widow now, I guess. I hadn't really thought about it like that. Nansen never made it. Franklin never made it either. They let me sleep at the police station, but I don't sleep at all. I stare at the ceiling. I'm still lying there next morning when the police officer comes in.
Your mother's here,
He says. I want the ice to crack beneath me and to sink into the sea. She comes into the office and sees me. Her eyes are red. She looks so tired. She looks exactly how I feel. There's a moment, and then she's on me, arms around me, sobbing and squeezing me, just squeezing me, not saying anything, just pressing on me tight and rocking. I'm sorry, I say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Mum. And she says nothing, just rocks and presses. I can feel her tears in my ears. I tell her everything. The notebook, the beardy men, Tromso, Andreas. I expected to get angry at that one, but she just sort of closes her eyes like a long blink and squeezes my hand. I tell her how sad I am. Dad never got to do the thing he wanted to do more than anything. How he never got to be an explorer. I miss him, Mum.
I miss him too. He would have laughed so hard at all this.
She says. He never got here, I say. She looks at me.
He got you here though, didn't he?
She says. Yeah. And you. Are you angry?
Yes.
She says.
And impressed.
She looks at me for a moment. And then she laughs.